Alright, great search. And let's take a quick look at a few things here. So they get up to the line. First thing of interest to me is that he runs out true to retriever style and form and treats this like a big field or swamp and starts taking stock of all the birds in the bushes and rounding them up. And you'll see he passes by and acknowledges probably like 50% of the hides out there. Some of them very clear acknowledgement, some not quite as much, but he really moves through and kind of picks all those off as he's going through, and decides then, you know, to hit on a strong one that seems like it's gonna get away from him and pounce on that first, and then he starts committing to these hides. So kind of interesting. Another thing that's interesting is we'll see as he moves through to the center of the area, his head is gonna bob up, down, left, right in just the span of a couple seconds, and that's really him being in and among several scent plumes, scent trails. We'll see him as he comes through here. He's bobbing up, down, left, right, and he spins back around, kind of touches on that tube. I mean, he's really finding himself in and among several different scent plumes and trails there. And he takes off, speeds over to find that first one. So I think he was about 30 seconds or so in to find the first one and actually commit to it. And now he's probably about 10 seconds to find the second one and commit to that. Good. Good. So something about a dog like Jasper, and this is true for many dogs, is sure he's got a sit that he goes into many times when he says he's done, but look what happens here. Big snap. That snap, boom, that snap over there as he passed the odor, that is something that almost every dog will do to some degree when they're working scent like this, and that's something that they cannot conjure up at their will, like a sit or a down or staring at something or looking at you. They don't manufacture a false behavior change like a head snap. So when you're thinking about, gosh, it's hard for me to read my dog, try and look for the lead ups to finding the source. Because if you see stuff like that and you watch where their nose takes them, very often their nose takes them to where it is. And it's usually punctuated when they hit that source. They almost kind of, the nose stops for a moment. They almost try to get it with their nose. And it's usually pretty clear when you've seen that behavior change preceding it. So, um, it's nice to have a final response that's been trained or that's been cultivated, but not necessary for sure. So this one's kind of fun to watch. He's trying to figure out where exactly is my source among all these bottles. So he hits on it there. So she's definitely concerned that it may or may not be it. So she's been waiting him out and asking him. That's a bottle. Let's see if we can keep track of that bottle. Move slowly here. It's staying put at the moment. And so where did he put his nose down here? Oh. So he put his nose down over there the first time. Checked on her. Alright, now that bottle's moved a bit. Try and keep our eye on it. He's pushing things around for sure. Now it's getting a little harder to see. So right now, it's just between his chin and his paw, and you can just kind of see it there. But as we move backwards a little bit more, it really goes into a pile. So he comes into this fast-moving dog, excitable dog. He comes into this and he starts stirring up that pile right away, looking for it. Kicks a few things, chases something, spinning around. So he actually more or less hit on it even the first time, but he came to sit several feet away from it. It's harder to tell. Good. So very hard to tell in real time, but he was actually always on that bottle. So he did a nice job. So now he's disappeared into the darkness of that corner. He came back out, nothing there. Good. So it's only because I saw it happening. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's an air current involved in this, but this bottle moving across the floor towards the back of the room, there's a possibility that, it was set off by movement a bit, but it could also have been pushed along and continued along by a little bit of air current. And given the way he works a number of these hides, especially on this half of the room, it's very possible that the air currents and the scent are kind of traveling back that way a little bit. And you'll see him work a number of hides where he passes it deeper into the room and comes back. And this one, he's coming from deep in the room and comes right up to it. And so it's possible that that's what's happening here. But it also could just be something kicked and started off moving and rolling along. And in case you've forgotten, that hide underneath the top of the step stool, that one's kind of unique in this area because that's one that we missed, Muriel and I, and that's one that he passes a lot without showing much interest in. And then once he's knocked off this one, the one behind the tube, bottom corner of the pallet back there, he knocked off the bottle over here. Once he knocks off a bunch of hides surrounding it, then he's able to go in there and figure that one out. And it's always interesting to wonder if the situation changed, if some of these hides weren't there, how would he approach this step stool hide, and would he show some behavior that maybe would be more identifiable, but that had actually been there all along when the other hides were all present the way they were, and maybe start to have us as handlers be more keen observers just in case they're not like Jasper, our dogs, and they don't, make it back and continue to search for more so independently. And just in case we might have to go, got to get back there and give the dog one more chance to work this area. Just something to ponder and think about. So he very nicely leaves a hide he's found. Christy will use a kind of a verbal cue. You've already got that one. Let's move on. And he very nicely leaves it. And a lot of that is training, and some of it is the dog. But you can definitely get the dogs feeling like it's good to find a source. It's better to move on and find a new source and a new source and a new source. And that really helps them in these situations to be able to scent in and around something they've already found and not let that rule their nose, so that they can find a new scent plume or trail and follow that to a new source. And he's working, more determined to find some of these. So he's, of course, coming across ones he already found because he's overall pushing a little bit deeper and harder into some of these areas. Good. Haha. Came onto that very nicely. And I really feel like it's like a combination lock. He really had to kind of unlock the others before he could unlock that one. And it would be fascinating if he could tell us just why it had to be that way. Very nice. So he's now found all 8. And he very nicely got into that threshold again, pretty much all on his own. And now he's going to check out the judge, because if there's nothing left to find, you might as well try and find a judge. Great job. So that was an excellent bout of searching. This is a second commentary that's been done on this video. The first one somehow corrupted and hardly anyone can find it. There's obviously going to be some differences, so if you do find the first one, it's probably got some different observations. But all around, excellent searching here in this search, and a lot of things to be learned, to observe, to start you off on thinking in new and different ways about how to handle and observe your dog in a search, and how to train for things. So when you get into this kind of a search, your dog's well equipped with the right skills so they can handle the problems with a minimal input from you. So you're just sitting back and watching and rewarding. Way to go, Jasper and Christy. Another excellent search.